And so everyone, I finally managed to get to the end of the D.L.C for Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. This, just like Kingdom Hearts 3 last year, was my most anticipated release for this year. And the fact that it was being released really early in the year made it even more exciting, considering the fact that I didn't considering me and everyone else didn't have to wait for so long in the year for it to actually be released. And the fact that it was being released so early in the year just made it all the better. And fortunately for me, I was able to get a bit of a head start for it because my brother pre-ordered it for me on the PlayStation Store as my Christmas present. And so yeah, I was lucky enough for that to happen. And then eventually, what did I think of the outcome at the end? It honestly made it even better. I loved it so much. There are honestly so many incredible things in this, and some really challenging things. Like there's some easy things in this game and some really hard stuff. I'll get into all that really soon, like as soon as we get closer into the story. But I don't want to get that away. But yeah, as a whole, I absolutely love Remind. I just loved everything that they gave us for this DLC, and it made Kingdom Hearts 3, as in the actual game of Kingdom Hearts 3, a lot better than what I originally thought. And yeah, I just couldn't wait for that to honestly happen. First, and for this review, I'm actually gonna tell the entire story from beginning to end and just talk about the different plot points that have been and just give my thoughts as I'm going just for this kind of review just because of how satisfying it is. I just want to talk about everything that this game did and I'm just gonna give my thoughts as it goes. And this will be a completely spoiler filled review, so just a little heads up ahead of time. And so let's get started, and I hope you all like this. So it actually opens with how Olympus in Kingdom Hearts 3 ended, with J-Bar watching Pete and Melissa and then he confronted by Luke's sword, and they have a chat and discuss about the relevance of the boss that the organization was looking for in the original version of Kingdom Hearts 3. And it was cool to get that whole conversation between the two of them, considering we only saw a tiny bit of it in the trailer a few months ago, and it did get me thinking of both two characters more, and kind of made me want to learn a bit more about Luke now. And afterwards, we then see Xehanort in the Keyblade graveyard, remembering how he actually met the Master of Masters, just saying about why he thinks he should take over the world. He sort of believed that people in the world were kind of living too lively and felt that their freedom would spawn more darkness and they'd eventually destroy themselves with it. We then even see that the master Helen Jane or who he really is, but we never hear it. Yet he's about to say what his name is. They actually cut out his voice, and we just see Xehanort's reaction to it. And yeah, that really made me really curious and just made me want to know more about who he is and what he really looks like and all that. And then afterwards we cut to the present time with Xehanort, J-Bar, and I in the graveyard themselves, and they're discussing about their plans for the organization and the 13 darkness that they're going to be using for the war. We also hear another new voice for Xehanort himself. The original Yeah, I'm just gonna go a little behind for a second. The original voice for Xehanort was done by Leonard Nimoy, but then he passed away back in 2015, so they had to replace him. So they actually got Rutger Hauer. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, and to do the voice for him in Kingdom Hearts 3, but then he passed away last year, and then for this, for Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, they actually got Christopher Lloyd to do the voice for him, and I will say, I really do like Christopher Lloyd as an actor, and he does a really good job as Xehanort, but he sounds absolutely nothing like Leonard Nimoy did. Leonard Nimoy was my favorite version of the character. Like, his voice was probably my favorite. And yeah, and I actually did like, and I did like Russell Howard in the role as well. He wasn't as good, and it was kind of noticeable at points when it started to sound a little off. But when you heard his voice as Xehanort, at least he actually sounded more like sounded more like Leonard Nimoy. But yeah, Christopher Lloyd sounds absolutely nothing like what the other two did. Like, his voice for Xehanort make his voice sound much higher and even older sounding. And even though he does a really good job, and that he just doesn't sound at all like the other two. I just wanted to point that out. That might sound a bit like a negative, but it's not. I just wanted to get that out there. Anyway, we then see the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 with Sora leaving the Keyblade graveyard to find Kyrie, and they actually, like, the entire scene with him that we saw in the original version of Kingdom Hearts 3 as he's leaving, they actually improved the graphics of that scene, and they honestly look a million times better, like they totally do. Me and some people on Facebook and all that were discussing before about what we thought the graphics looked like at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, and I actually kind of said before that in that, and I actually said to them that I thought that the graphics, while they looked absolutely perfect and amazing there was something about the way they just kind of looked in the array. I'm not sure how to explain it, but there's something about the way the characters look kind of weird. It's just a tiny bit weird, especially on Sora, and especially around his lips and all that. But here they look perfect. They look absolutely flawless. I'm so glad with the way they look here. We then see Sora in the final world talking to Shirafi, explaining about what he wants to do, and Shirafi explained about how what he wants to do will have a risk, but Sora decided to do it anyway, and we just kind of see a flashback to when everyone was arriving in the Keyblade graveyard, and Seraphine is explaining what exactly he had to do if he wanted to, like, do the whole thing. And we actually see that apparently in order to bring Tyrese back, he had to, like, go back in time and travel between all the other characters' hearts, and then the Guardian hearts, and trace the connection to all of them, and be able to get a Tyrese heart just before she was struck down by Xehanort. So he begins to do that, and we have to fight a whole bunch of different things in the character's hearts. And Sora begins to see why and what they're feeling when he actually does that. Like, at the beginning, we actually begin by going into Ven's heart, and we actually have to fight a different looking version of the way the Dark Inferno looks, and then we actually have to fight the Dark Aqua again. but then after we defeat them, we actually see Sora talking to nominate in his own heart. And apparently she actually explains that apparently when during the second version of the fight when Terranor appeared, apparently it was actually nominated who brought Terra's Linder and Will to the fight. She actually explains that she's the one who brought him there. But anyway, after Hera's rendering Will as in his armor kind of brings Xehanort away, we actually see Sora popping up for real and following them, and he actually helps him. Like, we actually had to fight Xehanort as Sora there, and it was honestly really cool to do that. We get to fight the other two, like in the Dark Inferno and the and Dark Aqua again, and then here we have to fight Terranort in a different location in the Hebrew graveyard, and that was honestly really cool to be able to do that. But then, as after that fight is over, you actually have Hera actually kind of sacrificed his armor, as in himself kind of to save Sora from an attack that Terranort was going to do to him. But then after that happens, the heartless that Terranort has with him actually grabs Sora, and he begins to surround him in darkness and all that. And that was and at that point we're only playing as present Sora, as that's just traveling through all the hearts. But then after that you're actually playing as past Sora for a few minutes, and you get to play through the Keyblade War again. But this time you get to choose what character you want to be in the fight. And that was amazing. I chose a different character every time, and we even get to see some more scenes. Like we see after you beat Replica Riku and Jitbar in that first fight, you actually get an extra scene where Riku is talking to Jemiet about him, and we actually get to see that Jemiet was the one who brought the replica that they had in that fight back to Radiant Garden, and we even get to see that he had a dummy phone that Ienzo gave him. I honestly, the fact that he was proof that he was on their side, and that was really funny. I always love seeing Nintendo Hearts that do stuff like that. But then after that, we do the Sora and Tin Mickey fight again between Luxord and Marluxia. But this time you don't get to choose the character. You have to play a Sora in this part, and everything in this scene is exactly the same. Although I understand that the reason you can't choose between the two of them there is because Tin Mickey gets taken away during that fight. So I kind of think that maybe you just couldn't play because he does get taken away, so it wouldn't really make sense to play as him if you're just kind of taken away at that point during the fight. But then however, the next part when you're automatically playing you're actually playing as Aqua when he and Ben are about to fight Vinicius and Terranor. And we even have a scene of them talking for a bit before the fight begins. And it turns out Vinicius might not actually be a part of Ben after all. Maybe he is or maybe he's not, but from the way they were talking, it kind of made it sound like he may not actually be in reality. But and anyway, the fight with them is really cool, and you actually get that really cool reaction command that we saw in the trailer with Ben riding his Keyblade and it covered in ice and Aqua and it died in it, and that was really cool. But then Sora arrived, and you actually have the option to fight as either Sora or Aqua there. Like I said, I went with Aqua again, but although I do wish that we had the option to play as Ben as well, because yeah, between Aqua and Ben, I do prefer Ben as a character, but that's not really that big of a problem. But then after Sora arrived, the entire rest of the scene is exactly the same. And then after, yeah, no, like, defeating them and then bringing Terra back, that's all the same. But then we actually cut to Kyrie and Lee afterward and fighting off against Gemini, Isa, and Sion. And we get so many amazing parts in this scene in particular. For one, we actually see Lee talking to Gemini and Isa before the fight, and we see Kyrie saving Lee when Sion attacks him with Lee trying to remember who he is. But then the rest of that part is mostly the same, with Sora showing up and the fight is just the same as normal until, like Isa powers up and knocks Sora and Kyrie back a little bit, and all that the same aside from Sora talking to Rocket in his heart and talking to Rocket in his heart, and we actually see how Rocket properly came back. We actually see an added addition of Sora in his heart talking to Rocket and then unlocking his heart from within his own, and that was really awesome just to see all of that. And we actually see the present Sora being inside the past Sora's heart again, and he's actually seeing all these events through him, just seeing all this. And there's a new clip of Sora, Kyrie, Lee, Rocket, and Sion attacking Gemini together, and it was really awesome to see that, especially Kyrie versus Gemini. And then we get to play as Rocket alongside Lee and Sion again, Gemini and Ida together. All that was incredibly awesome, especially the fact that we finally get to see Rocket versus Gemini. That's something that along with me, along with so many others, have wanted to see for a long time, and that was really cool. But then after the whole fight with them, you had to the whole scene that was in the original with Gemini taking Kyrie away, and then you get to shoot between Sora and Rocket to fight against Isa again. And like I said, I went with Rocket like I always did with these fights. Anyway, and the entire rest of that part is pretty much exactly the same. Like after you beat him, Lee just kind of talked to Isa, and then there's the whole Lee, Rocket, and Sion hugging afterwards. It is always cool to see those scenes. Anyway, after that, we then cut to the whole fight between Sora, Riku, and the Timber, Gemini, and Dementia and Xehanort. And I actually didn't notice it I actually didn't get the reaction command myself because I guess maybe I just didn't get it for whatever reason. But I actually saw on YouTube that in that scene you actually get a reaction command where Sora and the two of them have a reaction command where it kind of looks like they do a new version of Trinity, where they just kind of put their keyboards in the ground and just make this humongous blast and all that. And that was really cool to see. I actually didn't get that, but yeah, it's not that big a deal, but it was still really cool to see. But then afterward, we get but when we see that Sora was too late to get to Kyrie before she gets brought down. But then she gets the idea to go to Java Asylum and find Kyrie there before his past version version of himself can show up and he runs out of time, and then we get to explore the entire area of D.L.C. Island, which is absolutely gorgeous to explore. It all was so beautiful to look at, and everything, like they were not lazy by designing all of this. They went beyond everything they had to do with this world. Like D.L.C. Island is absolutely gorgeous to explore, just the way everything looks and all the buildings of the water and all the places that you can just go and explore. It's just really, really beautiful to look. Yeah, and the whole time you're exploring, you actually have to find little pieces of tiny hardware scattered throughout the area that you're in. But then the last, and you actually have to find 5 pieces, and the last piece in that area is inside the dark side back there. You actually have to fight dark side, and that gives Sora 5 pieces, but then Sora is then out of time to find them, because there's still 2 more pieces of Tyrese Heart to find, but Sora is then too late because the past version of himself arrived with Donald and Goofy, and then he retreats inside his own heart. But then he gets the idea to find the last of the pieces by tracing the connection of all the other hearts. So he actually goes back to the Guardians and decides to find the pieces in their heart. Like he goes into Riku's heart and tries to find another piece in there. But then that's where the Guardians of Light are. They're still trying to keep Kingdom Hearts slowly as we saw in the original. But then other versions of Xehanort in armor appear, and they're all forced inside Kingdom Hearts itself, and they have to fight off all the different versions of them. And this fight right here is by far one of, if not the most incredible part of the whole DLC. Like everything in this part is absolutely incredibly fun. You get to fight as Riku, Ron, Ben, and Terra, and you get to defend with as Kinmei, Aqua, and Shion. And this part was probably my favorite part. Well, even if it wasn't my absolute favorite, it was definitely one of the absolute best parts. Like, you get to see some of, like, you actually have to swap, like, you get to fight as one character, and then you swap, and then you immediately switch to another. Like, as soon as you do a finish and reaction command with one character, you're automatically switch to the next, and that goes on for the whole fight. And we also get some really incredible team-ups, like Rita and Terra, along with, Rita and Terra, and Lee and Aqua, and Shion, Ben, and Rock, and they were all really cool, and we even get to see some of them interacting, and the best was by far Roxas and Ben. That part made me freak out so much. It was just everything I could want, everything that I wanted. Well, okay, almost everything I wanted to see as a humongous Kingdom Hearts fan, but he just delivered immediately. Like it was just so cool to see that. It was just so magical. Anyway, all this actually helped Sora get the 6 piece that he needs, but then the Guardians are all separated from each other inside different keyholes that are appearing all around them, and only King Mickey is left to do something. So you actually to play as King Mickey as well, and that again was all that was just awesome. And we actually get to see Sora helping him out as he's trying to get to the one keyhole in particular, and he actually helped him destroy the other Xehanort, and they then disappear. But then Sora goes inside the keyhole that he just helped him heal, and he just shoots a bunch of beams with the Keyblade into all the keyholes that are around him, and this actually helps him get the last piece of Tyree's heart that he needs. And then and then when he had all of them together, he actually does the same whole routine that he didn't hit him hard to the open the keyhole there, and he actually does save Tyree there. He actually comes out of the keyhole that was created from her heart, and that was honestly absolutely amazing. I love that, and I honestly thought they were gonna hit there. They don't, but I was honestly kind of hoping they were gonna hit there, like me and so many other people were thinking they would, but no, they don't. Yeah, and then it happened. You finally get to play as Tyree. And I love that so much. You actually team up as Sora to defeat the last version of the armored Xehanort. And I cannot express how excited I was when that happened. I've been waiting for that for a long time. Like I said, you get to choose between what character you want to be, and you could choose between Sora and Tyree. But honestly, I don't know why anyone would choose Sora at that point. But yeah, you finally get to play as Tyree, and I've been wanting that forever, and I finally got it. I can't even be, like I said, I can't describe the excitement I felt. But then, and you even get a really cool reaction command with Sora and Tyree summoning wind, and they actually attack Xehanort, and they attack Xehanort together. But then the feathers that are on the wings that they're using actually they actually have little images of moments between Sora and Tyree together throughout the other games, and all that was just really cool to see. It really was. But then after you beat him, Sora, Tyree, and the other Guardians arrive at the Keyblade graveyard again, and they actually use their Keyblade to blast that version of Xehanort away. Sora even said again, "My friends are my power," again, but after they destroy it, but two of them then disappear, and we see Pat's version of Sora, Jonathan, and Goofy defeating Xehanort with the other Guardians going out to join them like we saw at the end of the game. But then Sora and Tyree then go to the final world, and Sora begins to feel the effects of what Seraphim was telling him. He begins to fade away like we were seeing before, and then Sora and Tyree talk to Seraphim, and they actually take Seraphim back with them, and they then show the entire ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 again, but Sora and Tyree are in all of the scenes. They were on the wall of Disney Pass, so watching the fireworks with Seraphim. They were the ones who brought Seraphim to the land of the park here, and she actually helped him reunite with Ben, and we even see them on the clock tower of Twilight Town above everyone as they're eating ice cream, and they were the one in Radiant Garden, and Sora was the one who helped free Nominate from Tyree's heart. And the entire part of the entire scene from beginning to end, they actually improved the graphics again. Like I said at the beginning, they actually improved the graphics humongously. Like, the graphics were absolutely gorgeous. I cannot describe how amazing the graphics are in this scene. It's just so beautiful. And it's actually like the whole scene with everyone on Destiny Island again. It just looks gorgeous. I can't describe it. A whole lot of it is a lot better than it did originally. But then we see Sora, like we saw in the original, we see Sora and Tyree on the Palpatine together. But then instead of it moving to Tyree's face, we actually move to Sora's face, and we see him telling her something, and it's obvious that he was telling her about the price that he had to pay for saving her because he then vanishes right in the original with her crying and all that. And I'm not gonna lie, right in the original version of the game, it did make me cry. Like watching that whole part again and watching Sora just kind of fade away, it made me cry again, just like in the original. Just seeing all of this, just seeing all this again did make me cry. Just made me fall and crying again. And this actually just proved that Sora was actually there at the ending. Me and a lot of other people assumed that he wasn't there at all originally, that maybe Kyrie was there by herself and she was maybe just imagining him being there, but this actually proved that he was really there, but did actually just vanish at that moment. And like I said, that did make me cry. And then in terms of just the first part of the deal, that was that part finished. And then after you're done that, you're actually given two new pieces. The first part is where we see Riku is with Hera and the land of the park here, and they're talking, and then and Aqua arrive, and we actually see the four of them talking, and that whole part was really fun to see. It really was. But then we actually see but yeah, seeing Ritu and Tara having a proper conversation, especially seeing now how much older Ritu is, and just seeing them talk, that is just really cool to see. But then we actually see Aqua, Ben, and Tara go into the realm of darkness because everyone is now looking for Sora. But then a year goes by, and we actually see Ritu at Radiant Garden talking to Leon, Yuffie, Aerith, and Sid. And apparently, him, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are looking in all the world that Sora's been in, but Twilight and are looking for Roxas and Healen's memories, and Kyrie has been asleep for a whole year, believing her memory and heart to help them find him. Kind of like what kind of a little bit similar to what was happening with Sora in 358 over 2 days, the fact that he was just asleep the whole time, and now she's asleep, hoping her memories will help them find her, will help them find him. And then we actually get to see that Sid is getting some data together, and we actually get to we actually see another J Sora, like what was in Kingdom Hearts 3 coding, and we have to fight J version of the organization members again. And a lot of them were really hard, especially Shion and Luke story. They were all really hard, but then when you finish beating all of them, it kind of shows to be for nothing. Like, it kind of shows that it was all just kind of a bummer and all that, but it's something that Yuffie actually said. He actually said, what a bummer, and it was all just kind of for nothing, I guess. But then the fairy godmother arrived, and she actually said apparently Riri might help them find Sora. And then that's the end of that part, but then we get one more scene where we have to get ready as Sora, and we have to sort of prepare for another fight. And the graphics on him look much different than they were before, but we sort of have to get ready as him, who is in some kind of a dark version of the final world all by himself, and he tries to see if anyone else is around. But then somehow Zora is there. That guy from the game Rex was talking about in the final in the toy bar world. So yeah, that really is weird. And Zora says that some girl told him about him, was it curious, not really sure what he was talking about there, but then he began to show some weapons, and he even showed that he apparently they're transported to the top of a building somewhere. That's most likely Shibuya. So yeah, the first time I watched this, you actually don't win the first one, but like the first time you fight him, like for crying out loud, the entire fight with Yojora is so brutal. You actually don't have a choice but to die the first time, and this actually causes Sora to crystallize, and then Yojora starts saying that he'll save them, but then he wakes up in a car like the whole thing was a dream. So that's kind of weird, but then when you do the fight again, you can win, but it is so hard. Like the entire whole fight with Yojora is so incredibly difficult. His attacks are so long, he can move so fast, he can summon a giant fear around the place that places digits all around you, and he can even take away pieces of your health, and he can use them as himself for himself, and he can take your eyes and use them himself. Not only that, but also the Hoopo coin that if you that even like yeah in the original like in Kingdom Hearts 3 you have a Hoopo coin and if you die it revives you, but then if he hates it he can revive himself, and especially and probably his longest attack is when or his most frustrating attack is when he takes your Keyblade and he's able to use it against you. I actually sort of had to synthesize the Ultima weapon in order to beat him, and eventually I did manage to beat him. It was just really, really hard, but everything about fighting him was so hard. But once you actually beat him, he disappears and Sora reappears in the final world with it being all bright and sunny again. So that made me think that maybe that meant something. Maybe beating him helped him get somewhere because he's in the final world and he has his Keyblade. It's not gone, maybe this sort of helped him a little bit. But then we see Yojora in the car again, with it being with him talking to the driver and all that. And some people think that maybe the driver might have been Luke's sword, which is interesting when I think about it. Maybe it is, I'm not really sure. But then we hear Sora and Yojora saying the thing that we heard them saying in the trailer again. And yeah, but the whole thing with them saying, I've been having these weird thoughts lately, like, is any of this real or not? But then we hear them talking, and some people are saying that the bad ending is the real ending, and I'm not really sure about that. Some people are saying it's a good ending or a bad ending, and I'm willing to believe that it's more of a good ending, that's the real version, because some people, the way they're talking about it, I don't really get it, but it's not that big a deal, personally, I'm willing to bet that the good ending is the real ending. But then we actually see that Yojora was actually voiced by Dylan Sprouse. And as a person who loved the Sweet Life shows when I was a kid, that was really awesome. And it is really awesome to have him in Kingdom Hearts. And that's really it. Like, really, after that whole scene, it just cut to something. It just some words just appear that say an ode to return Kingdom Hearts. So that's curious. Like, what does that mean? And what happened to Sora? Like, where is he now? What does that mean for him? Did he get back or not? Did he just end up in Shibuya somewhere? I honestly just have so many questions, and I honestly can't wait for what the series does next. But yeah, in terms of the Remind D.L.C for Kingdom Hearts 3, yeah, I absolutely loved it. It was absolutely amazing. I cannot believe how well wearing it did all of this, and I honestly couldn't imagine what they were gonna do for it. Like, if you saw my my wishes list for what I wanted to see and remind. Some of them, yeah, some of them have been, some of them didn't, but I was still really, really satisfied with what we got as an end product, and it was just so cool that a lot of these things did really, really happen. And so, and the fact that we're able to do all of this whenever we want just makes the show too, and I just really want to know what the future of the series will be now, and I just want to know what will be the next game and all that. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it, really. So, yeah, that's pretty much where you look Kingdom Hearts 3 Reminds. But, yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I always love doing these Kingdom Hearts videos, and especially these reviews for the games and all that. And I hope you all like, and I hope you all love watch them just as much as I love making all of these. They're always just so much fun to watch. And mate and all that. So yeah, everyone's been back very much my review of Kingdom Hearts 3 Rewind. Thank you all so much for watching, and so yeah, and if you like this video, please like this video, please comment down below to tell me what you think. Please follow me on Twitter at Daniel Maloney Kingdom KH and Disney fan, where I do with please every different Kingdom Hearts and Disney please every day, and please subscribe for more content like this that coming soon. I'll see you on next time. Take care.